Hello and welcome back to another episode of PopCulture Reacts. And we are back in the selections of you, the people. And this time we have Beans on Toast
Oh,
with their song I Fancy Laura Marley.
I fancy beans on toast. We said this just before we click record for this one. I do love a bit of beans on toast. The food. I've never heard the artist. Now, before we get into the serious business of music and fancying Laura Marling, do you like beans on toast as a food?
I don't mind some beans on toast, but I will always have cheese on there.
So, that was the thing I was going to say. How do you have your beans on toast?
So toast, butter, beans, cheese, and then some sort of spicy sauce.
So you skipped on a little bit too fast for me because you said beans offhandedly there. How do you have your beans?
Well, cooked, obviously.
Well, obviously not, because beans on toast is toast, cold beans, juice drained out, and then tomato sauce on top. Oh, honestly, taste sensation.
No,
You get
no,
the heat
you
from the
cook
toast. You
beans
don't need heat in the beans because the beans go mushy. I want a bit of substance to my beans, and I want
because
that hot cold experience.
you need the hot beans to melt the cheese that's on top.
I don't have cheese on top. I have tomato sauce to put some of the liquid back in that I have taken out by draining the bean juice.
Which again is just weird
Bean
because your
juice is just
juice comes
gross, though, isn't it?
from the bean juice,
It's just bean juice
and
gross, isn't it?
spicy sauce on top to you know give it a flavour kick.
No, no. I'll go to my. I will say, in all the years, and I've spoken to a lot of people about how to have beans on toast. I've still yet to find someone who who has it the way I do. But
It's because
honestly, I
you're
swear by
wrong.
it. But it's lovely. Honestly, it's absolutely lovely. You get that mixture of the hot cold, which is beautiful, and I think, and certainly in recent times where and for those who tuned in for a music reaction, you're not getting that for a while. In this world where you get like a lot less sugar and things like that in most of the things you do, I think like the low sort of sugar beans is a bit of a struggle for me without the addition of extra Tommy ketchup on top. So good. Oh, you can get them. You can stab them. So when you got your fork, you can
Why are
just
you eating them
stab
with a fork?
because that's how you
You
have beans on
you
toast.
you put your hand in, you get the bread, you squish it, and make bean sandwichy
That's not
thing,
beans on toast. That's a
and
sandwich.
num.
That's a toasted
But
sandwich at that point. You see, you've lost any credibility you had. You've just lost right there. Beans on toast is a knife, and it's not often I'll use a knife on fork on anything, but that's a full knife on fork adventure. Because again, you get that pleasure of stabbing the bean because it's cold. It's got a bit more give into it, and getting the right amount of beans on your fork for the amount of toast you got. Oh, you're missing out, bud.
I'll stick to
To
heating up
to
my
your to your
beans,
your bloody
squishing
bean
it, and
sandwich, you weirdo. Bean sandwich. It's not even beans on toast.
like a
It's
normal
beans
person.
in toast the way you're
Right,
having it.
right. So before we even go to this, down there, who's right, me or him?
No,
On
no, 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 I'm going to clarify that as well. There is a third answer, which I think is probably the right answer, which is neither of us. Because I know my way is weird, but yours isn't beans on toast. Yours is beans in toast, and that's intrinsically different. So you also are not right.
wrong.
No. But yeah,
So
if
yes,
there is anyone watching who likes cold beans, full stop, but cold beans on toast, please, like this is my one hope for this. I've been trying with everyone I've met in my life, and I don't find anyone. Surely the internet, there must be someone out there who has experienced this and has loves it as much as I do.
I'm gonna guess that's just a you thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe there'll be some more adventurous people out there who'll give it a try and see how good it can be. But yeah, it's lovely. Laura Marling, of
Yes,
which the beans on toast of this the performer fancies. We did Ghosts
yes.
around. Was that one of our
That was
Halloween
in the Halloween.
songs? Or yeah,
Queens, yes.
And I absolutely love that song. I'm quite a fan of Laura Marling anyway, but that especially, uh, it's not just a Halloween song for me anymore. It's oft played in my house, and even if it's not being played, it's off in my head, and I'm often singing it when I'm maybe outside having a cigarette or something like that. And so, and this was a recommendation from that, wasn't it? And
Yes.
obviously not Laura Marling, but I guess there's that intrinsic link. But I'm really quite intrigued by this one. Absolutely zero knowledge on the artist, zero knowledge
I've
on the
heard
song
of
or
them.
style.
Um, I know they have done gigs in Norwich and stuff. I think they played the Marquee a couple of times. So I know the name. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you anything about them though.
I'm kind of hoping for something a bit sort of like maybe folky, funny, very guitar-y, because that feels like what someone would recommend off the back of Ghosts to me.
Yes. So shall we get on with some beans on toast, fancying Laura Marley?
Um, yes. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Well, I fancy Laura Marling, but she's only 16. She hasn't even finished her GCSEs, but her voice is just so sexy. She plays a mean guitar. I love the songs she sings so much. I know them off by heart. Oh, Laura, oh, Laura, what am I gonna do? If only I was 10 years younger and I wasn't going bald. Well, I fancy Laura Marling, but she's already got her man. He's probably in her science class, holding her hand. She's written him 10 love songs, I've only written one. But if you hear it, Laura, would you sing along? Oh, Laura, oh, Laura, what am I gonna do? If only I was 10 years younger and I wasn't going bald. Well, I fancy Laura Marling, yeah, but so does everyone. You just wait until her album's out and she's at #1. I'll still be at Nambuka singing to an empty room when she wraps up a sold-out tour headlining Shepherd's Bush. Oh, Laura, oh, Laura, what am I gonna do? If only I was 10 years younger and I wasn't going bald.
I feel like you and I should go out now and buy lottery tickets. So unbeknownst to you, the audience, pre-recording this, we were having a conversation about musicians and their proclivities towards young women, and, and then we hit a song about a musician with, and albeit 16, and unfortunately we were talking about the darker side of music where it's even younger than that. But yeah, that's an amazing coincidence, isn't it?
That is very much a quinky dink.
Yeah.
Uh, other than the iffiness of the aging here, what did you think of Beans on Toast and his
Well, it's very,
soliloquy to Laura?
very simple song, isn't it? Very simple musically. I think if I was just to focus purely on the music, I think if it come on in the background, it wouldn't. I would be relatively happy to hear kind of just that acoustic sort of rhythm and strum in there. Funny enough, during it, I did actually Google him because I thought I wanted to know where he was from, and it seems that I turned American somewhere during that because when I went to America many years ago, everyone kept saying, "I love your Australian accent," And I went, I'm from England, and they go, I love your English accent. And for large parts of that, I thought he was Australian. He's from Essex, so yeah, it appears that I've lost the ability to determine accents as well. I mean, vocally, he's fine. I think it's probably not his strongest number. I think the one again, other than the kind of uh, loving the 16-year-old part of it, I felt like it was probably an artist who'd heard her music who genuinely really liked her and wanted to draw some attention to her, which I thought that was quite a
Yeah.
nice touch. I really did. But I don't know. It's fine. There's probably not enough there for me to hang my hat on. And if that's the only time I heard Beans on Toast, I wouldn't be rushing to hear more based off of that. But then
Mm.
also I wouldn't reject more based off of that. If tomorrow he showed up on a playlist, then I'd give another track a go. But I certainly wouldn't run to him.
Yeah, it obviously, as I said, I know he'd done the marquee loads, and it fits into what a lot of like the marquee stuff was, which was like acoustic punk in that sort of, you'll have those sort of nicer sort of like this where it's not really like a ballad as such, but it's a bit more sort of normal sounding sort of
Yeah,
thing, and then you'll then get something that's maybe got a bit of shouting in, but just him, his acoustic guitar, and his truth.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I do like that style of music.
And I think
Um,
like we said it on some of the other ones where I think if I was in a pub, but I mean like a musical pub, not just like any old random pub, but like the sort of one. And I think if he was playing on stage, I think I'd just go, yeah, that's nice. But I
mm,
don't think it would draw me in off of that. But yeah, I mean, like, got a lot of albums. I'll say I'm having a quick look here. Very, very productive, shall we say? I can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 albums
but yeah,
between 2009 and 2022.
as I said, it is that very much, probably for many years before even releasing that first album, lots and lots of gigging. Obviously, if he's from Essex, it makes sense
Yeah.
on why he was doing shows at our end. Um, so yeah, it said, would I jump out and play this song again? Probably not. Would I listen to more Beans on Toast? Probably, because I'd be like, what else you got?
Yeah, I mean, apparently, like, and this is from the first album. Apparently, the first album was produced by Ben Lovett of Mumford and Sons, and so I guess maybe like with that kind of folk thing that
Mm.
they were kind of, I don't know, in a part of like a folk community to a degree. So yeah, but yeah, just it's fine in it. It's fine in it. There you
So,
go. That's the sort of cutting edge review and criticism you want. Fine in it. How many
so
minutes we gave to Beans on Toast the food
I know.
compared to the song. But yeah.
So, as always, down there, A, the debate on how Beans on Toast should be produced, and
And please, anyone who watches this, like again, I'm quite happy for people to say my way's gross and reject it, but I do want some sanity here for people to point out that Chris is having beans in toast, not beans on toast. So he's
and
disqualified. So I win by proxy.
and also the song. Let us know what you think of that too.
Yeah, if you are if you've listened to like more beans on toast stuff, as much as I say I wouldn't rush back to it. If anyone's got any particular tracks, maybe because I think this is 2009 and still recording now, but like along the way where you kind of go, if I was going to pick like 1, 2, 3 songs that are the biggest selling points for him as an artist, yeah, chuck them in. We'll give them a go. We'll give them a
Yes.
go.
And as always, YouTube things like subscribe, ring bells, and all that jazz. And until next time,
We're off to eat beans on toast. Chris, beans in toast. Obviously.
I need some toast.
Yeah, I could do with some toast and all. Got a lovely loaf of bread downstairs, which is not something for the audience to hear me say very often because I've rarely got any food in the house, let alone a loaf of bread that I could eat.
Yeah, I need to do the shopping tomorrow because we've got very little in the house.
Oh, well,
Duh!
it doesn't matter. I'll do the shopping, and then 3 seconds later, there's very little in the house because I will just eat everything that comes through the threshold straight away, and then go weeks without with a lump of cheese and a pint of milk. Pretty much all that's ever in my house.
But well, we decide on whether we're going to eat or not. Until next time, goodbye.